Afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Old Jarhead. I'm Eric, the Old Jarhead, and well, I got work to do, so I'm not gonna take up a bunch of your time yakking. I gotta get this D-log off the mill, stacked up on this structure over here, get the slabs off the mill and into my burn pile, or maybe into my firewood pile. In any case, I gotta get all that done, get the mill fired up, get it lubed up, get some of that water off the rails, because I didn't put my rail covers on last night. Yeah, it happens sometimes, folks. But I'm gonna get all that done so we can get a log up on the mill, get back to milling. So let's get to it. Do this without knocking it off. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. What? Oh, come on. Come on, Jarhead. Tell Darcy. Sorry, honey, had to be done. There it goes. Well, we got it up there. Didn't stick with the bottom, but come on, folks. Probably should have put my forks on. You know that old saying, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you? It's true. I'm often asked, what is too small of a log? I generally tell people 9 inches. And the reason for that is a 9-inch log will give you a 6-inch cant. I use my 50% rule. I want my logs to be 50% larger than the cant size I want to get out of them. So if I want to make 3 2x6s out of a log, then I need a log that's 9 inches in diameter in both directions. That means that I can take it down to 6x6 and box the heart. So, can you fudge that? Well, of course you can. I've made 2x10s out of a log that wouldn't make a 2x10 cant, but that's because that would mean I would need a cant that's 10 inches wide by 10 inches tall. And if I can get one that's 10 inches tall for 2 or 3 boards, well, 3 because I want to box the heart, so 3, which would be 6 inches by 10 inches, well, then I can do it. And you might be able to do that if you have something that's, say, 14 inches in diameter, not 15, right? It just depends. Are you willing to sneak some out of the middle? Maybe get some 2x6s or 2x8s on the end and 2x10s out of the center. As long as I can get 3, it's my rule of odds, or odds over even, which means that I always want to have an odd number of boards coming down the cant so that I box the heart. Or if I'm going to split a cant so that I can get multiple boards out of it at once, so maybe 3 2x4s or 3 2x6s, I always want to do it in odd numbers, 3 or 5. 1, 3, 5, that's it. I don't want 2. I used to do 2 all the time. In my earlier videos, you'll see it. The only time now that I'll do 2 is if I do a 2x4 and a 2x6. You can get away with splitting a log in half and milling it out in the evens. But the center boards are all going to be inferior. They're not going to, they're going to warp, they're going to cup, they're just not going to play right. You're better off doing it in either 1, 3, or 5. That's just the rule. So I'm going to grab a tape measure. I'm going to grab, well, I need to grab some rags and some ATF and all that good stuff so that I can lube up the mill real quick, because it needs that, especially after having left it out all night with the rail fully exposed and it was raining and hailing and everything else. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to fire the mill back up so it's nice and warm. Let it charge that battery up some more. It's running good with the new alternator though, so I'm happy. And Rob, I got a squirt can for some diesel to try out, because right now I don't think my I think my lube bottle is plugged up. So instead of fixing it, I'm going to try your diesel trick with a little lube can, because Rob, thank you for that. That was a super sticker and a live that Rob got me. And those are always appreciated, folks. They really are. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And if you get anything out of these, hey, you're willing to buy me a cup of coffee, just hit that super thanks down at the bottom. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work, folks. Let's get to it. All right, folks, well, this log measured 6 inches at the small end. So using my rule of 50% over the size I want to get, I wanted a 4-inch cant out of this. Now, this was a tapered log. I got 4 inches at the far end here, but you could see it actually had enough taper here that I'm 4 inches on the end, but I've got wane here. So I've got a little bit of wane here and a little bit of wane here. I mean, it'll make a boxed heart 4x4. For the amount of time it actually took me to mill this up though, was it really worth it? I will mill small stuff for myself if it's just what I've got and I could use a 4x4, fine, I might mill it up. They don't dry very well necessarily either. Sometimes they do just fine, but you know, is it really worth it? In my book, it's really not. 9 inches, that's my rule typically. 9 inches or bigger. Otherwise, below that, if you really need to make a post out of it, hey, I guess you could. I made a 4x4 out of this one. You know, probably took me more time fiddle farting around with it than I needed to. And when I had it, and I took my second to last cut, I rolled it 90 and I needed to roll it 180. The reason for that is I knew I was going to end up with this wane. And I decided instead of taking it all the way down to 4 inches with this other side, I went to 4.5 so I could come back here and take a little more off this side, reduce some of that wane. That's all I was doing. And what I did is I rolled it 90, which put it here, and I saw this wane and I thought, oh, that's where I need to go. And so I started running down here with my band, and only half the teeth were catching it because it was already at 4 inches. And you know, I just eyeballed it, so ended up getting a choppy cut. That's not the end I needed to cut. This one was. So anyway, well folks, is a 6-inch log really worth milling? Not really. I think if I want 4x4s, I'll cut them out of 7s. But honestly, I'd rather cut them out of bigger logs and get them free of heart center. It's not really worth milling logs under about 9 inches. That's just my opinion. As always, I appreciate you watching. And if you get anything out of this, folks, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And for now, on this rainy day, I think I'm going to drop another video right here for you to check out. And I'm going to take off and take a break, folks. Y'all have a great day. The Old Jarhead out.